Hey there, welcome back to the channel that's all about uncovering the truth about your health, especially for those of us over 50 who know that every bite counts. Let me ask you a quick question. What kind of bread is sitting in your kitchen right now? Because chances are, one of them might be doing more harm than good. Today's topic is something we've all grown up with, something we often reach for without a second thought: bread. But not all bread is created equal. In fact, some of the most popular types, sold as healthy or heart smart, are quietly working against your body, raising your blood sugar, spiking inflammation, and making it harder to lose weight, lower cholesterol, or manage energy levels. And most doctors won't tell you this, because bread isn't the villain in most textbooks. But new research is uncovering what certain bread ingredients do to your gut, your arteries, and even your brain. And the truth is shocking. That's why in this video, we're diving into the 4 worst breads you should never touch and 4 you should eat daily, especially if you care about aging well, staying active, and keeping your heart and brain sharp. So if you're in your 50-second, 60-second, or beyond and want to feel more energized, control your weight, or avoid chronic health issues, this is one small change that could make a huge difference. Before we jump in, I'd love to hear from you. What's your age and where are you watching from? Have you noticed any changes in how bread affects your body? Comment below. I read every one of them. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're ready to take control of your health, and subscribe for more honest, research-backed tips that your body will thank you for. Now, without any further ado, let's talk about the first one: white bread. It may sound harmless, but you'll be shocked by what it can really do to your health. 4. Worst breads you should never touch. 1. White bread. White bread may look innocent, but it's one of the worst offenders when it comes to sabotaging your health, especially as you age. Made from refined flour that's been stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, white bread digests quickly and turns almost instantly into sugar in the bloodstream. This rapid spike in blood sugar triggers insulin surges, promotes fat storage, and leads to crashes in energy, something no one over 50 wants to deal with daily. What's even more concerning is how white bread contributes to chronic inflammation and arterial damage. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in refined carbs, like white bread, are associated with a significantly increased risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. And because it lacks fiber, it also disrupts your gut health, leaving you more vulnerable to bloating, poor digestion, and even mood swings. Take Barbara, 63, from Florida. She used to eat white toast with breakfast and sandwiches at lunch. Over time, her energy dipped, her waistline expanded, and her doctor warned her about pre-diabetes. When she swapped white bread for sprouted whole grain and added healthy fats like avocado, her blood sugar stabilized and her energy returned within weeks. So, what's the healthier move? Opt for 100% whole grain, sprouted, or sourdough breads. They digest more slowly, support gut health, and keep blood sugar in check. Always check the label. If enriched wheat flour is the first ingredient, put it back on the shelf. But there's another bread that seems hearty and wholesome: potato bread, that might surprise you even more. Let's talk about that next. 2. Potato bread. Potato bread might sound wholesome, but it can quietly raise your blood sugar, increase cravings, and derail your health goals if you're not careful. Often viewed as a better alternative to white bread, potato bread is still made with refined flour, combined with mashed or dehydrated potatoes. While potatoes offer some nutrients like potassium, the bread form is typically high in simple carbs and low in fiber, causing rapid blood sugar spikes and crashes. This makes it especially problematic for older adults trying to manage diabetes, inflammation, or stubborn belly fat. A study in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that high glycemic index foods like potato bread are linked to increased insulin resistance and a higher risk of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and excess fat around the waist. Consider Tom, a 6'6" from Ohio, who switched to potato bread thinking it was a healthier upgrade. He loved the soft texture and slightly sweet flavor. But after a few months, he noticed worsening blood sugar readings and frequent energy crashes. His doctor pointed to the bread as a likely culprit. Once Tom replaced it with sprouted grain bread and added more protein to his meals, his energy stabilized, and so did his numbers. So, what's the smarter move? If you love the texture of potato bread, look for whole grain versions with at least 3 grams of fiber per slice, or try making your own using sweet potatoes and almond flour. The key is slowing down digestion with fiber, protein, and healthy fats. But there's another so-called healthy option, wheat bread, that might surprise you even more. Let's talk about that next. 3. Wheat bread. Wheat bread might seem like the healthier choice, but in many cases, it's just white bread in disguise. Most commercial wheat breads are made with enriched wheat flour, which is a fancy term for refined flour that's been stripped of fiber and nutrients, then artificially fortified. The result? A bread that spikes your blood sugar almost as fast as white bread, promotes inflammation, and offers very few real health benefits, especially dangerous for seniors concerned about heart health, diabetes, or weight gain. In fact, a study from Harvard School of Public Health found that people who consumed more whole grains had a significantly lower risk of heart disease, but refined wheat products showed no protective benefit at all. Many popular wheat breads contain added sugar, preservatives, and even caramel coloring to make them look healthy, when in reality, they behave like junk food in the body. Let's talk about Sheila, 70, from Arizona. She proudly made the switch from white to wheat bread, thinking she was doing her heart a favor. But her cholesterol and blood sugar stayed stubbornly high. It wasn't until she looked at the label and saw enriched wheat flour and high fructose corn syrup that she realized the problem. She switched to 100% whole grain sprouted bread and added chia seeds to her breakfast. Within a month, her blood sugar readings dropped and she felt fuller longer. So, here's the takeaway. Don't fall for the word wheat on the front of the package. Flip it over and look for 100% whole grain or sprouted grains as the first ingredient and aim for at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. But there's another sneaky offender. Flavored or enriched breads like honey wheat or cinnamon raisin that might surprise you even more. Let's talk about that next. 4. Flavored or enriched breads. Flavored or enriched breads like honey, wheat, cinnamon raisin, or multigrain sound healthy, but many are just sugar-loaded, processed traps in disguise. These breads are often marketed as better-for-you options, yet they're typically made with refined white flour, added sugars, and flavorings to make them taste sweet and comforting. The word enriched doesn't mean healthy. It means the natural nutrients were stripped during processing and replaced with synthetic ones. The result? A product that spikes blood sugar, feeds inflammation, and leaves you hungry shortly after eating. According to a study in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, people who consume more refined flavored breads have a higher risk of type 2 diabetes and obesity, especially if these breads are eaten regularly for breakfast or snacks. Take Gerald, a 72-year-old from New Jersey, who loved his morning cinnamon raisin toast. It made him feel nostalgic, but his blood sugar kept climbing, and he often felt sluggish by mid-morning. When his dietitian pointed out that one slice had more sugar than a cookie, he made the switch to a fiber-rich, sprouted grain bread with almond butter. Within weeks, Gerald reported fewer sugar crashes, better digestion, and more steady energy. If you're trying to reduce sugar cravings, support your heart, or manage your weight, ditch flavored breads with honey, raisin, or maple in the title. Look for options that are unsweetened, whole grain, and free from artificial additives. You deserve bread that fuels, not fools your body. But there's another game changer: sprouted grain bread. One of the best breads for energy, blood sugar, and digestion that might surprise you even more. Let's talk about that next. 4. Breads you should eat daily. 1. Sprouted grain bread. Sprouted grain bread is one of the healthiest breads you can eat, especially if you're over 50 and care about energy, blood sugar, and digestion. Unlike regular bread made from processed flour, sprouted grain bread is made from whole grains that have begun to germinate, which unlocks powerful nutrients and makes them easier to digest. Sprouting reduces anti-nutrients like phytic acid, which can block mineral absorption, and it increases the availability of fiber, B vitamins, and antioxidants. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that sprouted grains significantly improve glycemic control, reduce inflammation, and enhance nutrient absorption. With a low glycemic index and high fiber content, this bread helps stabilize blood sugar, support weight loss, and even promote healthy cholesterol levels. A game changer for anyone managing heart health or prediabetes. Meet Linda, 68, from Oregon. After years of bloating and fluctuating blood sugar from so-called healthy breads, she tried sprouted grain bread on her dietitian's recommendation. She swapped her usual toast for a sprouted avocado sandwich, and within weeks, she noticed less bloating, better bathroom regularity, and more energy throughout the day. Her doctor was stunned at her improved A1C. If you're shopping, look for breads labeled 100% sprouted grain, with no added sugar or refined flour. Ezekiel bread is one popular brand, but there are many great options. Store it in the freezer to preserve freshness, and toast a slice for breakfast with nut butter, or a poached egg for a balanced, blood sugar-friendly start. But there's another ancient option: 100% whole rye bread, that might surprise you even more with its powerful benefits. Let's talk about that next. 2. 100% whole rye bread. 100% whole rye bread is one of the most underrated super breads for heart health, blood sugar control, and lasting energy. Made from the entire rye grain, including the bran and germ, whole rye bread is packed with soluble fiber, especially a type called arabinoxolin, which helps lower LDL cholesterol, reduce blood sugar spikes, and support a healthy gut microbiome. Unlike typical wheat breads, rye has a lower glycemic index, meaning it digests more slowly and keeps you fuller longer, great for anyone managing weight, prediabetes, or heart disease. A study in the journal Nutrition and Metabolism found that participants who consumed whole rye bread experienced better insulin sensitivity and reduced markers of inflammation compared to those who ate wheat bread. It's also rich in magnesium and iron, nutrients often lacking in aging diets. Take Robert, a 64-year-old from Wisconsin. After suffering a minor heart attack, he revamped his diet, and switching from wheat toast to 100%, a whole rye was part of it. At first skeptical about the dense texture, he soon began to love the nutty flavor. Within months, his cholesterol dropped, his digestion improved, and he even lost 8 pounds without cutting calories. For best results, make sure the label says 100% whole rye or whole grain rye flour as the first ingredient. Avoid light rye or rye blend breads, which often contain white flour. Pair rye bread with protein-rich toppings like hummus, smoked salmon, or hard-boiled eggs for a balanced, nutrient-rich meal. But there's another old-world classic, sourdough bread, that might surprise you even more with its gut-healing, blood sugar balancing properties. Let's talk about that next. 3. Sourdough bread. Sourdough bread isn't just delicious. It's one of the most gut-friendly, blood sugar-balanced breads you can eat, especially for adults over 50. Unlike standard bread, sourdough is fermented using wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria, which naturally break down gluten and phytic acid. This makes it easier to digest, more nutrient-dense, and less likely to spike your blood sugar. In fact, its unique fermentation process actually lowers its glycemic index, making it ideal for people managing diabetes or metabolic syndrome. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that sourdough bread produced smaller blood sugar and insulin spikes compared to whole wheat or white bread. It also enhances mineral absorption, especially of magnesium and zinc, critical for aging bones and immune health. Take Ellen, 61, from Seattle. After struggling with bloating and fatigue from regular bread, she was hesitant to give up toast entirely. Her nutritionist suggested trying naturally fermented sourdough, and the results were remarkable. Within weeks, her digestion improved, her energy stabilized, and she felt less puffy after meals. She even began baking her own. If you're shopping, choose real traditional sourdough made with just flour, water, and salt. Avoid fake versions labeled sourdough flavor that still use commercial yeast. For added health benefits, opt for sourdough made with whole wheat or rye flour. Enjoy it toasted with avocado, olive oil, or soft-boiled eggs for a nourishing, gut-loving meal. But there's another fiber-filled powerhouse, oat bread, that might surprise you even more with its heart and cholesterol benefits. Let's talk about that next. 4. Oat bread. Oat bread is one of the best choices you can make for your heart, your blood vessels, and your long-term energy, especially if you're over 50. The secret lies in its main ingredient, whole oats, which are rich in a powerful soluble fiber called beta-glucan. This compound binds to excess cholesterol in the digestive tract and helps remove it from the body, naturally lowering LDL, bad cholesterol, and improving overall heart health. Oat bread also has a lower glycemic index than white or even some wheat breads, helping to stabilize blood sugar and reduce cravings. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who consumed oat-based products daily saw a 10% drop in LDL cholesterol within just a few weeks. Plus, oats contain antioxidants called avenanthramides, which reduce inflammation, a major contributor to heart disease and aging. Consider James, a 7-year-old retiree from Colorado. After a scary borderline cholesterol test, he started reading labels more carefully. He swapped his usual sandwich bread for one made with oats and whole grains. In just 2 months, paired with walking and more veggies, his cholesterol dropped 25 points. He felt lighter, more energetic, and more in control of his health. When shopping, choose oat bread that lists whole oats or oat flour as one of the first ingredients. Be wary of those with added sugars or made with mostly white flour. Look for at least 3 grams of fiber per slice to truly support heart health. Enjoy oat bread with nut butter, hummus, or avocado for a nourishing, heart-smart meal. It's a small shift with big impact. And there you have it. 4 breads to avoid and 4 to embrace. Let's wrap things up with some final thoughts to help you take action on your health journey. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. Today, we uncovered some surprising truths about bread, something many of us eat every single day without a second thought. We exposed the hidden dangers lurking in popular options like white bread, potato bread, and sweetened varieties, while also discovering the incredible benefits of wholesome choices like sprouted grain, rye, sourdough, and oat bread. The lesson? Not all breads are created equal, and a small change in what you eat can create a big shift in how you feel. But more importantly, this video wasn't just about bread. It was about awareness, learning to read past the marketing, to listen to your body, and to choose foods that work with you, not against you. Don't let labels fool you. Ask questions. Seek out real ingredients. Be intentional with every bite, because your health is worth that care. Have you or someone you love ever experienced something surprising, either good or bad, from one of these breads? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. If this video helped you see food differently, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more real science-backed health insights, and share it with someone who might benefit too. Your journey to better health isn't about perfection. It's about progress, curiosity, and conscious choices. Thank you for watching. Take care of your heart, your body, and your future. One step, one slice, one change at a time.